Hold on a sec. There's someone coming over the mic right behind you. Turn it on.
My voice carries. Okay. So I heard that all the zombies, like the actors that played the zombies, they all like did their own profession. So if they were a nurse in real life, they'd be wearing the nurse zombie costume. Is that true? Do you know that?
A lot would depend on what was back in the costume department, or who was responsible for costumes. I don't know if they picked their own clothes, or I don't know.
That's when you have to ask.
Yeah. Tomorrow, ask them tomorrow. There you go.
Hi, how you doing? Would you ever think X amount of years from the shooting of the film to now, you'd be in Rosemont, Illinois, and what was the thought on the set, the feeling on the set, did it feel like you were doing something iconic, a cult classic? Did you know you were doing something that special where you would be here at Flashback Weekend?
I can answer that. When I first read the script, oh my God, this is so violent. Right? If you don't, in the script of the page, you don't get Romero's perspective or humor. So you don't really see that on the page. But as we went on, I thought, oh, this is going to be kind of unusual, but I thought, oh, maybe it would just ruin my career. I'm serious, right? And then it started to, look like it was a very individual film. But we knew it would be very controversial because it was released without a rating. But no, for me, it's impossible to project you guys right now.
It was an acting job, period.
And not only just that it's still enduring, but I mean, as much as George started out with Night of the Living Dead, really this film is the template for everything that came after it, right up to today. I mean, it's the idea of putting zombies in costumes, they're working, what their job is, like that wasn't really done in the first film, but it's just so much of the behavior and the rules are kind of set in this.
Well, I think, the whole idea of zombie, the word zombie, wasn't even in anybody's conversation or vocabulary. Zombies were like, oh, maybe there were some voodoo films that you saw from the 1950s or 60s. Yeah, something. But the idea of zombie now is, I think, in everybody's brain somewhere, in every generation. It's like amazing when you think about it. When the film came out, people didn't know what to think of zombies. They certainly didn't. The idea of people eating people was so horrible and cannibalistic, and they didn't know what to make of it. And now, I mean, I don't know that I have a friend's kid who doesn't make their first movie ever when they're 10 or 11, and it's always a zombie film. I mean, that's what they do.
I had friends who were actors or acting class, that kind of thing, and we took a lot of heat for this film. It wasn't as popular, even though it got great circulation and distribution worldwide. It still, for a lot of people, was too violent, too graphic, and I lost friends, or people associates, and they looked down on me and didn't and were very disrespectful in terms of how they reviewed the film, performances, and that kind of thing, the kind of film that we were in. And so when I read the script, I saw the violence. I said, "This is crazy." I said, "This would." And I was the only member of SAG because I worked film and a guest on a TV show, so I wasn't supposed to do this film, legally, according to my union. And I looked at the script and I said, "This is not going to play Guam." Let's just do it. They'll never let it in the country. It's too violent. I said, I don't have to worry about this. I can do this film. They'll never see it, Lo and behold, Salah Hassan and Richard Rubenstein got this thing. I'm telling you, it played every drive-in, every midnight show, every major theaters at the Embassy in New York on the east side, at the Winter Garden on the west side, 50th Street. Those are major theaters. all over the world to say, and it really got a lot of distribution. And I had no idea. And as a matter of fact, when I left, I followed it when it opened, came to Indiana, came out here, to California rather, and they called me up, the union, Screen Actors Guild. Yeah, they called me up and they said, "We want to talk to you about this film, Mr. Ford." Oh boy, what film are you talking about? I said, "It's Dawn of the Dead." Oh, right. Well, the board would like to see you. So I said, "Oh, fuck, screw now." Just got to California, been in less than a year. I got to go to the board. I won't be able to work again. Well, I decided, I said, I'm just going to tell them. I went to them, that's what I told you. I said, I didn't think this thing would be American. Instead, I was working as a bouncer, a bartender, part-time bartender at BB's. You guys know, yeah. And I needed money, and I did it, and I won't do it again. And they stood there, and there was everything was signed for about 7 board members. Get the board, as you remember from that series, Top Series. Yeah, so and they just stood, yeah, I'm 12, yeah. And so he's one of the board chair, one of the board members. They just sat there, about 6 or 7 of them. They sat there and looked at me. I said, they said, okay, don't do it again. I won't. He said, okay, you believe. That was it. That
I
was
would
it.
just like to add one thing. You know, a lot of the reason Dawn of the Dead became a critical success and became something beyond a cult film is because of Chicago. And you really have to give the credit to Roger Ebert.
Yes.
Roger Ebert. I really think that he was the one, and it came here. That's on him.
Remember that press conference we had on Fifth Avenue? Remember? It wasn't even, but it was Rex Reed, Rona Barron gave us a great review. Rex Reed, I don't know if you know these reviewers, but they were like tops at that period. Everyone that was out there, I thought, hey, these people weren't, these are major reviewers on national television giving a thumbs up to Dawn of the Dead.
But Roger really was the one who,
Started it.
yeah, he was the one, and he
Yeah.
came from Chicago.
So thank you.
Right over there.
My question is more along the lines, a few of you had a cameo in the remake, and I was wondering if I could get your opinion on kind of what you thought of the remake and how it stayed true to the material and where it deviated.
I can answer that. I was glad they didn't try to emulate or imitate George Romero's humor or his perspective, because that would be very hard to do. So they just went a different direction, and I really appreciated that. And the thing that I appreciated was, I can tell you the first day I was on the set, Eric Newman was the producer, and Zack Snyder, who you all know, was the director. They were so appreciative that we were there. And I walked up to Zack Snyder, and he was 40, 45, and he said, he was acting like he was a teenager. He went, wow, I can't believe you're really here. That's what he said. He said, I have dreamed about remaking this movie ever since I was a kid. Now he's a producer, and he said to instruct me, he said, I just hope I don't insult George. So, they were like really good people, so I don't have any big deal whether they run fast or they run slow or whatever.
I thought it was a tribute to us, to our film, to George's film. It was, I don't know if the cast really got they were part of the franchise, I just thought they were doing another acting gig, but I don't think they were really that into it. But I was supposed to do the role that Sabini did, which was a deputy cameo. And I refused to do the film because there were so many death threats being sent up there. There were so many problems with fans who did not want the original to be copied or be made. And I didn't know which way to go because I didn't know the fans didn't want to make it. And I said, well, maybe I should. Last moment, my agent said, maybe you ought to do this. Good. I said, all right, but tell them to report it. We thought about it. I said, okay. And they said, well, you got to recruit your role for this. And that's how I got involved. I wasn't really originally going to do it. I said, stay away from this. But I was very happy. I thought it was a very good horror film. I thought it was exciting. I thought some of the shots were fantastic, especially the great shots, the hit shots of the tanker running into the car, right at the real fight. That's a great shot from there. And when they leave the mall in the bus, and that shot of all the zombies coming around. Great shots, great action. I thought it was a good film.
It's just a different movie.
Even George has said that we were talking about this before, that he thought the idea of those people communicating across the buildings, like that, he thought that was a great idea that we should thought of. It was a really neat way of sort of getting outside the mall. So, we have time for a couple more here. There's one up in the front, there's one right there in the middle.
I just want to say that I'm such a fan, and I really think it's the greatest movie ever made. My question is, what is your favorite scene in Dawn of the Dead?
About 100 of them, man. Let's see. Can I give you two? Just two short ones? Two short ones? Two short ones. The one, and I don't know why, it's when I run through the mall and I dive on the concrete, roll, and it shoots right by me. That's fine. I'm not shooting Sabini, but it's just the rolling, the action. I was young, I could do my own stuff, nothing there but concrete. Macho. And then when I dropped through the gun shop, and I put on those 6-shooters and the character and the barrels, oh my God, what a childhood dream come true. It's ready, baby.
I think my favorite was when I said I want to fly that helicopter. that we wrote it. That wasn't in the script. So yeah, no. George and I had a little conversation, and I said, the guys are not, I need to have a scene where I'm standing on my own, and I'm tired of being told what to do by these guys. And George said, well, let's just improvise it. So that's what we did that the night before. I think he wrote some lines, I wrote some lines, and we put I don't have my pots and pans, I would have made you all breakfast.
We gave England hell.
And
They
yeah.
all do stuff.
But it was a good scene, because I think it was the time where, she said, this is the time where, she's not going to be safe. She's going to be the one rescuing, and I think that's an important switch. Your turn.
Just two quick ones. One is Peter. Peter. That was one, and when this guy who's like really overly wired slips down the truck. Right. Peter. I love you. Where are you?
I'm just sitting here flashing through things, and I can't. All I know is that playing a zombie was just a hell of a lot of fun, and there was no part of it that I didn't love. There was no part of the film I didn't love doing. I can't nail a scene or two. It just that it sure was fun being a zombie.
It was a joy, an absolute joy. We had a great time. It was a great time just traveling in the hotel and all. We were kind of like a unit fighting, going to a war together, it was fun. It's fun. All playing cowboys and Indians.
Before we get to our last question, I just want to say, just hearing you answer that question can remind me that, like, when I was a kid growing up, like, kind of near DC, and my parents were pretty good about letting me go see R-rated movies, except unless there was sex in it. So they didn't want that, at least not initially, but they let me go see this movie. I was way too young to see it, but because so as a result of that, Ken was really was definitely the first like black action hero that I just fucking loved. And he was the best. And like for years, and he was just my hero forever. And I told him this like years ago when we did, I think the first time he came to Flashback, but he just floored me. And it just like, you know, it wasn't Shaft because it was sex and Shaft. And it was like, you know, but it was this movie and it was like, Ken was just my hero and the guy I wanted to be. God, I want to fight next to if this ever happened. Like, it was awesome. So, anyway, okay, that's me. That's me. Okay, we got time for one more. Knock it out of the park.
I had heard that there was an alternative ending film in which there were no survivors. Can you tell us if that's true or not? And if so, tell us a little bit about that ending.
Isn't there used in the film the alternative where your head is blown off and they use it as something else?
Oh, they might have used, well, that was a
Yeah,
special
well,
effect.
she
They
gets
weren't gonna
killed, shot in the
right.
head with a shotgun or something, and,
No, the alternative ending was that we were going to kill ourselves because there was no hope. And you were supposed to shoot yourself, right? And I had the dramatic moment, which we filmed on the rooftop of the mall, my putting my head through the blades of the helicopter. And I guess they decided that was really a downer. I thought it was great. I thought it was like, you know, but no, instead we fly off. So actually, the flying off was the alternative ending. The way it was written was, we all die.
well, it's like the cowboys riding off into the sunset. If you don't have that, I mean, I think that truly contributes to.
No, I think
the whole
George's
theme of the
idea
movie.
was, no, I think George's idea was the pure idea. I think the change of the ending ended up being what was, you know, better for maybe an audience leaving. But
No, for that reason, that it's something very easy to relate to. The whole idea of that helicopter taking off into the dawn, by the way, friends, means a hell of a lot.
And we just had Night of the Living Dead, when everyone thought that Dwayne Jones was going to live, and he got to the door, and everyone was blown away completely by that bullet that went through his head. Everyone thought somebody's going to survive, and he died. And George and I talked about it, and I said, I'm happier. He said, yeah, let's think about that. So we talked about it a little bit. I don't know what discussions you have with you about your thing upstairs. These guys were already gone, you know. So we, you know,
Really did.
really.
Did we really fly off in the dome? I didn't even realize that. I was not watching.
Just one little interesting thing. When we were supposed to fly off, and I run up to the helicopter, and Galen's behind the handle. But the
Yeah,
real copter pilot had the controls, and I run up to the running board. What is that? The little skid. And I grabbed him, and I'm pulling the helicopter. Let me in. Some crash, when you get, you know. So we are almost ruined the entire film.
Yeah.
Killed both Galen, myself,
You
and
would not be here.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to say that's the only time in the entire film I was really frightened, was when I realized I had to get in the helicopter in the air. And I didn't realize that, you know, I'm reading the script and it's like, oh, she's in the helicopter, she flies the helicopter, and I'm thinking, I'm not really flying the helicopter. And so there's this pilot who shows up and George says, well, you get in. And I said, what do you mean I get in? And he said, no, you get into the helicopter. So we're flying, and I had to pretend when we landed that I was really brave and I was flying and I was falling out of the helicopter by then. I was melting, it was terrifying.
This is a little something that back in the story that they may not know, and you guys can find. Remember when we shot the interiors of the helicopter? We stayed up the entire night, shot all night, left there in the morning, went to a garage somewhere where they had the helicopter, and it was snowing, so I took snow, put it on my eyes, and my eyes just won't go to sleep. And we shot that the entire the interior of the helicopter seats. A guy pocketed the helicopter in the garage. So we went outside. So that's a little back in.
So not even turned on, look at the motor.
No,
It's just sitting
we
there.
got 4 guys out there with 2x4s.
Clearly we could go on for hours.
Oh, we could.
But guys, thank you so much for coming
Thank
out.
you.
and talking to us.
Thanks for